The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program's participants and do not necessarily reflect those of station staff, management, and advertisers.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. That's right, the day after the Super Bowl. We've got a lot to talk about. No, I'm not going to be breaking down the actual game itself, but we will be talking about the halftime show. Yeah, MAGA Republicans all over the country showing their racism. I mean, it really is pathetic. It's incredible. We're going to be breaking that down. We're on the YouTube Super Chat, of course, and we're on X. As I mentioned, at PTL Radio Show YouTube, the Facebook fan page. I think we just passed 85,000 subs on there. We're approaching 100,000 really fast. Mike Babcock from TMZ Sports. You see this guy on the tube everywhere. So Mike Babcock is going to be joining us coming up here in just a few minutes to talk a little bit about the halftime show. My initial reaction to everything is probably very predictable. While it is not my genre of music, and I probably couldn't name you one Bad Bunny song, I enjoyed the halftime show. I enjoyed the message. I thought it was very creative. I thought it was really cool seeing Lady Gaga out there, seeing Ricky Martin out there, seeing Mark Anthony out there, Jessica Alba, my girl, out there. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a great message. I didn't see anything inappropriate. It was fun. It was about entertainment, and I thought they did a good job. And then we get back to the football game. But the outrage from the right, and let's just be very clear on this, okay? The contempt that Republicans seem to have for Latino American culture has been full on display for the last 24 hours or so. Let's just be very clear on that. This is bigotry and racism. Speak English. Speak English. It's exactly what this is. And here's the biggest hypocrisy of it all. Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago sitting there with Lindsey Graham. They watched Big Bunny during the halftime show. We have proof of that. You want to talk about the epitome of hypocrisy? They didn't change it to watch Kid Rock lip sync. We'll get to that in a moment. This is video in Mar-a-Lago of Donald Trump and Lindsey Graham watching Big Bunny at the halftime show. Watch this.
Nah, muchas quieren mi baby gravy, quieren tener mi primogénito.
At a Super Bowl party, watching that man himself, Big Bunny. So I do find that very, very interesting. Now, on the flip side of things, I grew up with alternative rock. I grew up with a lot of different musicians of the 90s, and I was never a Kid Rock fan. Didn't really care for his music very much. Never really liked him. Never cared for his music. But one thing I will say is that I don't like lip syncers. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Bad Bunny was not lip syncing yesterday. Neither was Lady Gaga. Neither was Ricky Martin. But one person that was lip syncing yesterday to his song Ball with the Ball, the Bang, Diggy Diggy, which is a song that I think is like 35 or 40 years old. It's been around quite some time. At the Turning Point Klan rally last night, because that's really what I'm going to call it. Bunch of stupid white people that were watching Kid Rock lip sync. This is proof, and I'm going to play it for you right now. This is Kid Rock lip syncing and not even trying hard. I mean, you can see him drop the microphone, and you hear the lyrics and Kid Rock lip syncing. Watch this.
And this is one of the questions that don't have any answers. Midnight lances in the time was dancing again. Brice the cars back with the beach burning. Cheese with the 40s and the chant with fever, the northern lights and the southern comfort. It don't even matter if your veins are punctured. All the crackheads, the critics, the cynics, all my heroes in the methadone clinics. All you bastards, you got already. The small crooked cops and the quarter death. The slaughter shots of Jack with the cat.
So Kid Rock isn't even trying there. You clearly see that he's lip syncing. By the way, what is he wearing? Would you call those jorts? Is that what you would call those? How American of you. He's wearing jorts, looking like the Crypt Keeper. What was that movie, Con Air? And who's the guy who starred in the movie Con Air? Nicolas Cage, right? He's looking like Nicolas Cage in Con Air. By the way, that is not a compliment. Give me my bunny. And wearing his jorts. Give me my bunny. Like, I'm sorry, but you're lip syncing. We all saw it, you scumbag. I will show you somebody who wasn't lip syncing. Again, not my genre, but I have the ultimate respect as a musician. She's a phenomenal talent. Lady Gaga performing Die with a Smile at the Super Bowl. Oh, yeah, by the way, she wasn't lip syncing here. Have a listen to this. That's actually real singing. And that's from somebody that's actually really talented that I have a lot of respect for, Lady Gaga. Look, folks, Bad Bunny's halftime show was a celebration of, at least in my opinion, what really makes America great. What is that? Our diversity. The connection that we have to our neighbors. And to my estimation, truth that all nations of our hemisphere have shaped who we are, because we are all in this together. And his entire message throughout this entire performance, and you saw the sign there at the end, which was, the only thing more powerful than hate is love. Why is that a bad thing? Why? Because he wasn't speaking English? If you're a racist? And I thought this was a really, really powerful moment in this performance. Now, a lot of people thought this was actually Liam Ramos, which it was. It was not. It was a child actor playing Liam Ramos. But I thought this moment was very touching and meaningful because, as you know, this 5-year-old was deported by ICE and now was brought back, thank God. But I thought this was a really cool moment in the performance. Watch this. No, that wasn't Liam Ramos. That's what they were trying to make it out to be, that cute little kid there. And I thought that was a really cool moment in the performance. Listen, there's conservatives all over the country that are saying that Bad Bunny halftime show was woke and all things in this show were immoral and bad. By the way, I didn't see anything in this halftime show that would have suggested that. And by the way, there was also a couple, this is really cool, that legally got married during the show, promoting to the largest possible audience the most conservative values of all, right, is marriage. And that's what happened in the middle of this halftime show. And meanwhile, Kid Rock opens his Turning Point USA halftime show with a song about strippers, hookers, crackheads, gangsters, and porn. But apparently to MAGA and the MAGA cult, that's way more American, they say. Keep in mind, Kid Rock is also the guy in his lyrics that talked about having sexual relations with underage girls. Now, conservatives will lie to you, and conservatives will say that the Bad Bunny halftime show was woke, as I mentioned before. And they'll lie about the numbers. The official numbers for Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance have not yet been released, but on the one platform that the Turning Point people have promoted, Bad Bunny beat him on. It's like 21 million to 19 million. CBS has reported that early figures indicate it was the most watched halftime performance at the Super Bowl in American history at somewhere around 135 million viewers. And it's interesting because there's a lot of people on the right who are showing their racism, they're showing their hatred. Yeah, they're showing their bigotry. And then you have people like Michael Knowles who are going on Fox and Friends this morning. Again, they are lying to the American people. And again, for the virtue signals and the dog whistling, it's insane. Have a watch of what Michael Knowles had to say.
I'm very upset with TPUSA because every year I look forward to watching the Super Bowl, being subjected to some horrible leftist halftime show, and then getting to complain about it for a full week after that. Now, TPUSA offers an alternative. It was excellent in basically every single regard. And now I have nothing to complain about. So I'm very, very upset, as are, I think, at last count, 26 million Americans who tuned into the TPUSA show.
Yeah, 133 Americans tuned into Big Bunny, you doofus. You right-wing buffoon, you clown. Look, people have the right to watch what they want to watch. People have the right. There was nothing that I saw in this halftime performance that I thought was inappropriate or bad. And here's Joe Scarborough talking about the 133 million Americans that watched Bad Bunny. And Joe Scarborough, is being attacked, saying, well, wait, the numbers aren't out yet. But this is Joe Scarborough, who I don't always agree with, that is setting the record straight. Have a listen to this.
There were some people on the MAGA right that took the bait. Well, 133 million people, Rev, watched Bad Bunny go out and just completely own the field, the stage.
That's really important to note. Because when you look at the lyrics of Kid Rock, I think that's extremely important to note. And there's a lot to get into, including a TMZ poll and a lot of other things that I certainly want to get to here. But it's certainly the biggest story of the last 24 hours. And, the guy joining us on the show right now, it's why I have a face for radio, and he's all over TV. It's been a little while since he's come on. My friend Mike Babcock from TMZ Sports joining us right now on the program. Mike, I really do appreciate you being here. How are you? Mike, can you hear me? Mr. Babcock. Is Mr. Babcock there? All right, we'll go back to Mike when he's ready. I'm not sure Mike's ready yet. So let's get him back up when he's ready to go. Mike's a really busy guy. He's the head of TMZ Sports. And obviously he's got a lot on his plate today. So I certainly do appreciate him taking the time to join us. Let's see if Mike's ready to go. Is Mike ready to go? Is he ready to go?
I can hear you.
Not quite yet. We'll get to Mike. There we go. I think he's ready to go. Now, Mike, good to see you, my friend.
Hey, good to see you, brother.
It's been a little while. How you doing?
It has been. How's everything?
Everything's good. Busy. I'm sure this is probably one of your busiest days of the year. So
yeah.
I really appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Of course. I'm happy to be here, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to have you on, Mike. I love what you do. So let me just ask you personally, what was your original reaction after you saw the Bad Bunny performance? What did you think of it?
Yeah, I thought he put on an entertaining show. I don't speak Spanish, so I'd be lying to you if I told you, Brian, that I understood obviously the words, the lyrics that were being said. But end of the day, for me, bottom line, I thought the production value was great, as it is for these Super Bowl shows. I didn't think there was anything controversial at all. I mean, if you want to nitpick, I suppose there have been some people out there, including the president and some parents, who have said maybe the dancing was a little bit too risque. But look, by and large, there were no political statements. I think that's the way a lot of people hoped it would be, whether you're, right-leaning, left-leaning, or center. I think it should be about the music and entertaining people, and that's ultimately what it was. I have no complaints at all.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Mike. And going on the flip side of that, the Turning Point performance, listen, I really don't have many opinions on Kid Rock as a musician, but he was lip syncing, right? We talk about lip syncing all the time. The man was lip syncing the ball with the ball, the bang, diggy diggy song, right? Like that's not even an opinion, right? That's a fact.
Right. Yeah. So I put that on. I had the volume down on that. So I couldn't even say, and I've seen some of it, Brian, this morning now, but I saw, look, I think they had maybe the highest I saw was 5.1 million and change. So look, I think hard to say that's not incredibly strong audience for an alternate programming halftime show. But look, I guess, choose your own adventure yesterday for the halftime show. Bottom line is, again, I think for what was probably the most polarizing selection, just because of all the debate before the show, I think ultimately at the end of the day, there was nothing controversial at all about what Bad Bunny did last night.
I agree with you. So, Mike, a lot of conservatives are gloating about a poll that you guys put out.
Yeah, I've seen.
Which was, and maybe you could explain a little further, but it was basically which show did you like better? Did you like the Bad Bunny show, or did you like Rock Turning Point? Can you talk to us about that, and what are the numbers right now? Because that's getting
here. Let me try and pull it up while we're on here now. But it was Brian. The last I looked, and hopefully I can bring it up here now. We were at 67% of people who said they enjoyed the Kid Rock show better than the Bad Bunny halftime show. Now, did all those people see both shows? I don't know, but clearly that's what the voting was. I will say this. I think, especially in the 2026 version of X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, I think that it's probably more of a right-leaning platform at this point. So perhaps that's why you've got more people voting that way. I know we did on our website, on the TMZ website, on Friday or Saturday morning, we did a poll. What were you more excited about? And it was just as dominant, but going the other way, Brian. So you had like 70% of people who said they were more excited for Bad Bunny than they were for Kid Rock. So it might just be a question of where you pose these questions and who is there using those platforms.
Okay, so this is key here. You're saying that those numbers that conservatives are bragging about was only up on X?
Yes, that was a social media poll. Yeah. So right now it's at, is about 350,000 votes, and 65% of people said that they preferred the Kid Rock halftime show.
It's a right leaning. If there was an MSNBC poll that came out and it was like 70% of the people liked Bad Bunny, conservatives would say, well, wait a second, that's left leaning. It's the same.
Without a doubt, right. Bottom line, right. I don't know what if you went to like Reddit, I don't know if Reddit does polls or not, but if you went to like Reddit, for instance, I think you'd have like 90% of people saying Bad Bunny. Yeah, I think it just matters where you ask the question.
Yeah, that's insane. A couple quick more minutes here, and I appreciate your time, Mike. We know how busy you are.
Of course, right.
Yeah, appreciate it. Your thoughts just in general. I mean, the game was kind of, I don't do a lot of sports anymore on this show, but the game was kind of dry. It was kind of boring. Yeah,
it wasn't a good game. We got to look. I think a lot of times and sometimes you get great ones, but a lot of times you get a Super Bowl that's not incredibly compelling. I didn't think the matchup was great to begin with. I think the NFL was hurt by not having the Buffalo Bills, for instance, in the game. And so that was a little bit of a bummer just even before kickoff. But yeah, ultimately it was a dominant performance by the Seahawks, and especially that Seahawks defense. The Patriots offense got nothing going, and the final score makes it look a little bit closer than it actually was. But I don't think you ever really had the feeling that the Patriots could win that game, even when it was like 6-0, Brian. I almost felt like this almost feels like it's out of reach, as crazy as that sounds. Even at that point, that's how bad the offense looked.
Who do you think's career this hurts more? Whether you're the quarterback of the New England Patriots, obviously, Vrabel's a great coach. We're not going to attack him, and we know how good the Seattle defense is. But like, who do you think this hurts the most when you look at this performance by the Patriots?
Yeah, I think. Look, obviously, Drake May is such a young guy, and he's this runner-up in the MVP voting this year. So I don't want to say that it's going to completely undo all the progress he has made this year, but I think and it's not just the Super Bowl, right? But you got to look at the Broncos game, the Texans game. I mean, he turning the ball over all over the place. He seemingly regressed a lot, and I am sure would not be surprised at all if we ultimately find out that he was battling some sort of serious injury here that affected his play. I know you've got people talking about potentially a shoulder injury. I don't know, but he did not look like the same player that he was earlier in the year. Look at their schedule. You play who you play, and you beat those teams. But the reality is that they had a pretty easy path as far as paths go to the Super Bowl. So I'm curious to see how he plays next season and what the expectations are. You go back to Sam Darnold a few years ago with the Vikings, and he had such a great year. And then you remember, Brian, he plays bad the last few weeks, and then they lose. And I think a lot of the goodwill that he had earned, it sort of, kind of dissolved. And I wonder if that same thing happens with Drake May. Although
Yeah,
in Sam Darnold's case, he obviously then wins the Super Bowl yesterday. So
yeah, I agree. Completely agree with you. Before I let you go, last question. What do you think the numbers are going to be like in the end here? Do you think this will be the most watched Super Bowl of all time? And going back to the halftime show, do you think it's pretty much going to be maybe 10 or 15% of the audience was watching the turning? Like, what's your estimation of what the actual numbers you think are going to be?
I think, and there were numbers that were floating around, but the NFL has since come out and said that those numbers are not accurate. It said it was the most watched halftime show ever, and there was like 135 million or so people watching. The NFL has said we haven't released numbers, so I'm going to go off the assumption that those numbers are not right. But I do think if it's not the most watched, then it's going to be right there. The only thing, I think, Bad Bunny being a global sensation and a global star, I think that helps the international numbers. I am wondering if being that had Taylor Swift last year with the Chiefs being there, if that kind of would have bumped up those numbers. That was the most watched Super Bowl, and that's where we're currently at. I don't know if because you don't have Taylor Swift's involvement, maybe there's a little bit of a dip, but I think you're going to have something like 120 million people or so having watched this thing. Yeah. And it's I was talking to someone from the NFL last night, and I love baseball. I love the NBA, Brian, and I watched the finals and the World Series, of course, but you don't get that feel that it's like a holiday or the Super Bowl just feels big, and no other sport has that.
No doubt. You being an NBA fan, I might be out there watching the NBA All-Star game next weekend.
Oh, let me know if you're out here.
I will let you know. Drinks on me, my friend. Mike, always a pleasure.
I'm there. Thank you for having me, Brian.
Thanks, Mike. I'll let you get back to work. Bye. Appreciate it. Mike Babcock, everybody. TMZ Sports. You see him on TV every single day. Hard-working man. We appreciate him taking the time obviously to join us. He is the head of TMZ Sports. He knows what he's talking about. All right, so that's some interesting news there that maybe I wasn't aware of, because you have all these right-wing clowns bragging about this TMZ poll where, oh my God, 70% of the people in this TMZ poll are saying that they enjoyed the Kid Rock show and Turning Point. It's on X, you freaking idiots. Most of the people that are on X are on the right. It's a far right entity. If you put the same poll on MSNBC, what do you think they would say? If you put the same poll on Blue Sky, what do you think they would say? You freaking morons, you MAGA imbeciles. Oh my God, you mushroom gobblers. It's so ridiculous. And shortly after Bad Bunny's set, which obviously Donald Trump watched because we played you the video, we played you the audio of that, he called it absolutely terrible. He said, one of the worst ever. He continued by saying, it makes no sense. In an affront of the greatness of America and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. What is he talking about? Did he even pay attention, or was this something that was pre-written before? That's what I think. I think this was a pre-written Truth Social tweet before the actual performance itself. And then he goes on to say, nobody understands a word this guy is saying. By the way, nobody understands a word you're saying or what Tom Homan says. And the dancing is disgusting. Nobody understands a word that your contractual stupid wife says. Melania, please order my book. Oh my God, it's so ridiculous. And now he wants to say it was disgusting, especially for young children. You mean the young children that Kid Rock was talking about when he was singing, talking about being with underage girls? Or the young children who were molested and the pedophiles out there that you seem to protect? You want to talk to me about children? So ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. It's insane. And the backlash from these conservatives is insane. And I did a video about Benny Johnson. I just debated him on Piers Morgan last week. He described the halftime performance as woke, cringe, foreign, boring, preachy. Preachy. You've got Kid Rock talking about Jesus Christ. You want to talk about preach? He didn't preach anything except love. That love is better than hate. And then you got Kid Rock with his lyrics talking about prostitution and cocaine, and then he wants to preach to us about Jesus. Are you effing kidding me? Are you kidding me? And by the way, I haven't even gotten to the Epstein file stuff. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the program. But I'm going to do something that I don't normally do, and I want to open up phone lines early. Do you agree with me? And by the way, the number to call, 702-221-7283. 702-221-SAVE, 702-221-7283. Do you agree with me that this is just blatant MAGA racism speak English. We all know what they really mean by that. They don't want brown people in this country, legal or not. Do you agree with me? Do you think that the Kid Rock performance was a good performance when he's lip syncing, jumping up and down, wearing his jorts? Does anybody think that that was a good performance? Forget about even like your political stance. Does anybody think that Kid Rock performance from a musical standpoint was good? In the halftime, even if you don't like Bad Bunny, you had Lady Gaga, who is a musician of a generation, singing. You had Ricky Martin. Say what you want about Ricky Martin. The guy can sing. The guy's got a really good voice. The guy can sing. You had Mark Anthony out there. Tell me from a music standpoint why you think that the Turning Point USA halftime Klan rally, that's what I'm going to call it, was somehow more entertaining and was a better show than the Bad Bunny show. I would love to hear from you and your thoughts on this halftime show. I think it's just blatant racism. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think it's just blatant racism. And I do give NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell credit, expressing confidence and gratitude. I think it's a very, very smart, I think, in my personal opinion, this was a very smart thing to do for the NFL. So that's just my personal opinion there. So we'll take some phone calls on this now. It's 702-221-7283. Let's go to Brandon. Brandon is first up on PTL. Hi, Brandon.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Good. What's up, man? What'd you think about the halftime show?
You know what? I'm not a big fan of Bad Bunny, or not, I shouldn't say not a fan, but I've never really listened to his music. But man, I thought it was a great show. I mean, it's more of like a vibe more than anything. I just thought like the energy was good, the optics of it were great, and I just enjoyed the whole thing. But what I really liked about it is that Puerto Rico got some representation that normally doesn't get from like the media or like into our discussion. So I thought it was really cool to see.
So Brandon, I agree with you. What do you make of so many? I'm not going to say everybody, but so many people on the right that are Trump supporters that are attacking this guy because he didn't speak English. I don't understand what he's saying. I mean, you've heard what they've said over the course of the last, 15 hours or so. What do you make of all those people, and why do you think they're attacking Bad Bunny?
Because he's Hispanic and he's not speaking English. I mean, they're just being racist. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I mean, I have 90-some-year-old relatives in my family that are worried about white people becoming a minority by the 2040s. I'm like, get a life. I mean, it's like, this is America. We're multicultural. We're multi-different ethnicities, languages, and all that. I mean, it's like get over yourselves. I mean, This is America. Deal with it.
I completely agree with you, Brandon, and I do appreciate your phone call. You have a good rest of your day, okay?
You too, buddy.
Thank you. 702-221-7283 is the number to call, 702-221-SAVE. I don't mind talking to people on the other side. Like, I really don't. And to getting your thoughts on this, let's go to Terry. Terry is next up on PTL. Hey, Terry, what's going on? Terry, you're next. Hi, Terry.
Hi, Brian.
Hey.
Good afternoon. I'm a 70-year-old white woman, and I absolutely loved Bad Bunny. There was something visceral to me about getting up off my butt and dancing in the middle of my living room floor. And I absolutely loved every moment of that. It was wonderful.
What were your favorite parts of it, of the halftime show?
Everything. Oh my goodness. It was a great cultural experience. I didn't understand a word that he was singing.
Right.
But
neither did I.
Done.
Engaged. I just liked the incorporation of somebody proposing. I liked the fact that they had, Mexican vendors out there. I like that part of it. I like the fact that they incorporated Ricky Martin and Lady Gaga and Mark Anthony. I like the statement of love, beats hate, which I think it doesn't matter where you're from or what you look like. I think that's a wonderful message for everybody. And then on the flip side of things, you have Kid Rock, who is lip syncing, talking about hookers and blow. I mean, it's like they talk about their Christianity and the Erica Kirks of the world. They talk about Christian values, and you have a guy up there on a stage in one of his lyrics that's talking about being with underage girls. I mean, you can't make this up. It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, Brian, there's just no comparison there. I mean, honestly, to me, he was delivering just so many things, a message of love and just great talent. And I just felt like I was seeing a story, and it was just wonderful. I loved it.
Well,
Loved it.
I totally agree with you, Terry, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. I did as well, and I appreciate your call. So before I get back to the phone calls, one of my friends on social media created a checklist of reasons why you probably didn't like Bad Bunny's performance. It's very funny, so I'd like to read it for you. If you've never traveled outside the state you were born in, you may not like Bad Bunny. If your wife is in the habit of standing on the top step of the RV and shrieking at the kids in the dirt yard, Bad Bunny might not be for you. If you've ever mortgaged your mobile home to invest in your cousin's emu farm, you may not enjoy his music. If your idea of exotic food is deep fried Twinkies, perhaps you won't like Bad Bunny. If you think Puerto Ricans should be deported, you definitely will not like Bad Bunny. That's definitely true. If your truck payment is higher than your rent, Bad Bunny might not be for you. If your idea of a hot date is sneaking into your cousin's bedroom, you probably shouldn't listen to Bad Bunny. And last but not least, if you think the NFL chose Bad Bunny over Lee Greenwood just to personally spite you, then you're just really stupid. That's actually a very funny list. And by the way, a lot of that I think rings true. 702-221-7283. 702-221-SAVE is the number to call. And listen, if you liked the Bad Bunny performance, then, if you didn't like the Bad Bunny performance, that's okay too. I just want to know why. Let's go to Chris. Chris is next up on PTL. Hello, Chris.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, what's up?
I can't answer to why it'd be more entertaining to all of you to watch the TPUSA show, but for me it was.
Well, tell me why.
I'm a bartender in a small town.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a bartender in a small town, Minnesota, and watching these people who demanded that I put the show on for them, only to sit there and watch rappers or this guy rapping and played whatever America song he was trying to do in the beginning, and the terrible, terrible music was priceless to me, Brian. They were tortured by it. They hated it, but they had to sit there in pure silence and not say anything because they sat there and whined to me in 2 hours before the show even started. Brian, this was glorious.
Yeah, it's listen, let's just call this for what it is, right, Chris? And you know this. These are people that are just racist. Let's just call it for what it is. This isn't about musical preference. Okay, if it was about musical preference, then you certainly wouldn't have Kid Rock up there. This had nothing to do with musical preference. You had Lady Gaga, who's one of the most famous musicians of all time. I think it's fair to put her in that category. A phenomenal musician. So this had nothing to do with musical talent. You'll hear some people on the right say, oh, Bad Bunny doesn't have any talent. By the way, he just won Artist of the Year, and he's got 100 times more album sales and fans than Kid Rock ever had. But this isn't about the music. Let's just call it for what it is. This is about racism. These are the people that say, speak English, speak English. Have you heard Melania Trump speak? But they say, speak English, speak English. They think Puerto Rico is not a part of the United States. These are not intelligent people. These are bigots. That's what they are. Chances are, if you say you like the Kid Rock show better, or you like the Turning Point show better, and that's all you say, and you say you're a country music fan, then fine. I'm not going to call you names. But we all know that's not what most of these people on the right are doing. They're attacking Bad Bunny because he wasn't speaking English. That's what they're doing. And they're praising Kid Rock, a guy who bragged about being with underage girls in lyrics, a guy who talks about prostitution in his lyrics. It's just, so I'm done. I'm just going to call these people out for what they are. They are bigots is what they are.
Yeah. These people don't know the difference between the yours, the theirs, twos, then, all these other things, but they're going to scream at anybody for not speaking English. They don't know English.
And by the way, all these people
hype on Facebook Sunday.
Chris, all these people that talk about ratings, do you remember when Colin Kaepernick and NFL players were peacefully protesting and taking a knee? You remember that, right?
I was reminded of it yesterday by my bar guest. Oh, they're standing for the anthem.
Yeah. Do you know why I'm bringing this up? Because all the MAGA people on the right were saying that the ratings were going to go down the tank. Guess what? That was the highest ratings of any year in the history of the NFL. When all these idiots on the right were saying, oh, the ratings are going to go down and the ratings are going to be terrible and they're not standing up for the national anthem. It was the highest rated year the NFL has ever had. And by the way, as much as the football game itself wasn't extremely entertaining, You had over estimations of over 135 million people that were watching this and were watching the halftime show, while you had a sliver of that watching Kid Rock lip sync. Oh, yeah, that's right. By the way, Kid Rock was lip syncing. He was lip syncing. Nobody lip synced in this halftime show in the Super Bowl. Nobody. It wasn't Lady Gaga. It wasn't Ricky Martin. It certainly wasn't Bad Bunny. Nobody was lip syncing. But they don't want to talk about Kid Rock lip syncing his own song. It's pathetic.
He was badly lip syncing. He wasn't even doing a good job of it. He wasn't matching anything close to the words. It was, and then what does he do? He does this stupid Ba Da Ba song. Then he has like a violinist come out. Then he comes out because he's now tearing down the image of Kid Rock to be this Christian guy now all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Christian songs.
Yeah.
And so we got to see the transformation of Kid Rock to whatever this guy is now, because he's now a Christian.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm so sick and tired of this fake Christianity. I don't know. I'm just with you on so much of this stuff here, and
yeah,
it's painful. It's actually painful.
It is. It is painful, and there is a lot of fake Christianity out there. And unfortunately, I have to do the dirty work of debating these people every day. It's very difficult to do, especially when you support somebody like Donald Trump. But I will say this: I don't know Bad Bunny. I've never met Bad Bunny. I thought he did a phenomenal job. I thought the message was great. From all that I can see and what everyone says about him, he seems like a really decent, good man. And I have a lot of respect for him, and I'm glad and I'm happy for his success. And we need more people out there. And Ice Out is a wonderful message, and a message of love defeats hate, which really was the message of the entire halftime show, of bringing everybody together. And MAGA can't stand it. They can't stand that a man who speaks Spanish somehow is this popular. They can't stand it, just like they couldn't stand Barack Obama, the first black president in the history of this country, and the birther issue that Donald Trump put forth for 5 years. Thank you for the call, Chris. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. 702-221-7283. And again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation, 702-221-SAVE. Let's go to Casey. Casey is next up on PTL. What's up, Casey?
Hey, Brian, I'm going to give you my perspective coming from South Florida, which is a big, diverse melting pot community, from everything from Haitian, Cuban, Colombian. You got North Miami has got a Russian territory, and we're kind of like a tropical New York. I lived 25 years in the Caribbean, mostly in the western part, in Trinidad, Tobago, Grenada, Barbados. I spent a little bit in Latin countries, but the one thing I can honestly say, I do love salsa merengue. I'm not a fan. I liked Bad Bunny. I think he is a phenomenal artist. I'm just not, even after that performance, I'm still not a reggaeton fan, but I wanted to support him. If it makes MAGA upset, then I want to support it. And I want to make sure he got the biggest viewership possible. I think that what he did was showed the world, okay, with undertones. It was political to a certain aspect, but it was undertones. If you really watch the whole performance, it showed that Puerto Ricans are a proud community.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
What they are globally, that, from the slave trade, that shows that they are still to the roots of the slave trade. How they did cutting down the sugar cane.
Yeah.
Rum, what was produced back during the slave trade was rum, tobacco. There's some of their joys, playing dominoes. Mm-hmm. A lot of Latin women in New York that do nails.
Very creative. I thought it was very creative, and you mentioned sugar canes and the farmers, and that's how the performance started, which I thought was really cool. And just everyday people, right? Boxers and restaurants and people that are selling. And you mentioned the nail salon and all this other stuff. I thought it was really cool. I enjoyed it.
But he did it without rainbow flags. Okay. But there was two, if you notice, there was two guys.
I saw that
racing each other. Yeah. And he had Ricky Martin, who is Puerto Rican and an out gay
I love
male.
that. I thought that was great. Yeah. That's a good point.
Lady Gaga supports the gay community, so he didn't wear the dress, which is, listen, if he did or didn't, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, he still reached out in an undertone to the LGBT community.
Yep.
And my hat's off to him and his performance, man.
I agree with you. Well said. Good call. And I thought it was perfect. I thought nothing was over the top. Yeah, you had some sexy dancers. Okay, fine. That's in any performance, right? I'll tell you one thing that Bad Bunny's never done in his lyrics. He's never talked about being with underage girls. He never did that. Kid Rock did that. And Bad Bunny didn't lip sync either. So if you want to talk about the actual music performance, you had one halftime show where there were no lip syncers, and some of the best musicians, in my estimation today, Lady Gaga certainly being one of them. Mark Anthony. I mean, Ricky Martin. Livin' La Vida Loca. That song lives in my head to this very day, by the way. I kind of wish he sang that song because I definitely know that one. But it was a lot of fun. And maybe there's some MAGA people out there, and that's fine. If you enjoyed Kid Rock's performance better, I am familiar with Kid Rock's work. I am. Then let me know. I'd love to hear from you. But this racial stuff and going after him because he wasn't speaking English. Did you go after J-Lo? Did you go after Shakira when she performed at the Super Bowl? I mean, it's so insane. This is so ridiculous. All right, let's go to Jeff. Jeff is next up on PTL. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I saw the turning point. I was flipping through the channels and I came to the Newsmax section in OAN there. And my first impression, now I don't want to be offensive, but my first impression of the turning point concert was I thought at first it was like a Ozempic commercial. and then I was gonna flip away, and then it turned into like a Viagra commercial.
That's actually really funny. I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty up to date on pop culture and what's going on, right? I'm not that old, and I didn't even know the other performers. I really didn't. I didn't know any of the other performers. Obviously, I know who Kid Rock is, but I didn't know who any of the other performers are. Obviously, Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin, Mark Anthony. These are phenomenal performers. I thought, listen, let's be honest here. The best performer that MAGA could come up with is a guy that wears jorts, who is a washed up hack who hasn't had a hit song in 40 years. That's the best performer that they can come up with. Oh, yeah, by the way, he was lip syncing his own songs. Now, listen, I know people lip sync. I expect it from Britney Spears. I would expect maybe a little bit of lip syncing from J-Lo. Usually you don't expect it from a rock, quote unquote, rock musician from the 90s. Like, I couldn't name you a concert that I've ever been to. Rob Zombie. Okay, that's one concert I went to because he had a bad voice that day, I heard. So I went to see White Zombie and Rob Zombie, and I was disappointed that he lip synced. But that's it. Like, I've seen probably 1,000 concerts in my life. That was the only show that was lip synced. And Kid Rock was lip syncing. I mean, how could anybody say that's a better performance, regardless if you don't like Bad Bunny's music? From a music standpoint, isn't that the biggest sin? He's lip syncing.
Yeah. And the Super Bowl, I mean, I don't think you could get more of a family values type of Super Bowl that I've seen before.
Yeah. Wasn't that nice? And I thought there were a lot of great moments in his performance. I didn't think anything was inappropriate for children. I thought everything was great. Like I didn't think anything was over the top. Did you? I certainly didn't.
No, it was like I say, it was about as close to family values as I've seen a Super Bowl halftime show be.
I agree.
And,
yeah.
Another thing though, what my question is turning point. They're raking in all this money. What is their tax? Are they going to be paying taxes on all of this stuff they're doing?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I will give you a funny stat though. They're bragging about their YouTube viewers, which somewhere around 20 million. That was their main platform for this. Guess what? Bad Bunny beat them on YouTube too. He was around 22 million. So the main platform, they got kicked off of X for censorship, I guess. And my understanding is that Bad Bunny beat them in every category. So they're going to get up there and they're going to brag. Let them brag about nothing because they're lying.
Yeah. So, sometimes I think these 20 million viewers, people just turn it on and then they go make a sandwich.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think too. I tend to agree with you. Thank you for the call, Jeff. I appreciate you. Thank you. Love hearing from these listeners that tell it like it is, man. We have some of the best listeners around. Not to say that we don't have some MAGA trouble as well. We do, and they're always welcome to call into the show. Listen, if you think that Kid Rock's lip syncing performance was better, I'm all ears. I'm ready to listen to you. Let's go to Rich. Rich is next up on PTL. What's up, Rich?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Thanks for having me on. First
Sure.
time I've ever been on your show. Just wanted to say I watched the show in between the Super Bowl yesterday. My girlfriend, I guess she had heard his music. I wasn't aware that I've heard a few of his songs. I had a good time. I think it's really weird that people get so bent out of shape about, some artists who I've heard crazy things. Like, I think it was Tony Lahren was saying, you need an American. And I'm just like, what?
So racist.
Like the fact
so
that
awful.
you have a job and you think that you're correct, and even that assessment is.
I got something
so
better for you,
mind-blowing.
Rich. I got one even better for you. You ready for this? My guy Piers Morgan had Megyn Kelly on his show today, and of course,
wow, I didn't see that.
So Megyn Kelly, this is so stupid. I'll probably play it on the show tomorrow, but it's so amazing, and it goes to show you how stupid Megyn Kelly is. He asked her, "What's the official language of the United States of America?" And she says English. There is none. And I'm thinking
exactly.
And I'm she didn't even know. She didn't even know.
How do you get a job? How do you get a job? Like, it's just mind blowing to me that, we used to be a country where people celebrated intelligence. We celebrated diversity. The coolest thing about anything that I've learned in just, becoming an adult is hearing something I've never heard before, seeing something I've never seen before, learning something I've never learned before, and it can come from any source.
Yeah.
And what's happened is we've become this world where it's got to be a very narrow thought process, narrow view, and anything that doesn't fit in that view, instantly you're a non-American.
I agree with you. I'm going to tell you
see that movie. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I was watching the Super Bowl with some people yesterday, and one of the people that I was watching the Super Bowl with is a Trump supporter, and he couldn't stand the Bad Bunny performance. So I looked at him and I said, "What was so bad about that? What is getting you so angry?" Right? And by the way, this guy was supposed to come on the show today. He's not, because he probably can't defend his stance. But anyway, he said it was bad. It was bad. It was a bad example for children. And I looked at him and I said, "What?" I said, "What about the Epstein files? What about the guy that's named 3,200 times in the Epstein files? That's the guy who you support.
Exactly.
Do you think that's a good example for children? What do you think about that?" "Oh, I didn't like the dancers." And then he says to me, he was in a female outfit. Now, that's not even true. Even if it was true, who cares, right? I said, "Are you even watching the same show I'm watching? He wasn't even wearing women's clothing. You don't know what you're talking about." And he's trying to make it sound like, oh, it was a disgrace to America. No, let me be very clear. Here's what I think is a disgrace to America. A guy who's made billions of dollars in a crypto scandal, a guy who has done everything in his power to not release the Epstein files and to not give victims justice, a 34-count felon, a guy who brags about grabbing women by the genitals, okay? And I can go on and on here. That's what I think is a disgrace to America, not a guy who just won Album of the Year, whose entire message throughout the entire show was
guy on
love,
Earth.
love, love. That was the message. Love, not hate, love. And I said this to him, and it's like I could see his face getting red, and I could see why he didn't want to come on the show today, because I would have given it to him.
You would have annihilated him.
Yeah. I'm sick of it.
No, I just one thing real quick, and then I'll let you go and have other callers come on. I guess the thing that really is weird to me is like they're always so mad. Like they're mad about everything. You got everything you wanted, you know, and yet you guys are still mad. You can look at something, and I can look at something, and I can go, man, let's celebrate that, man. That's artistic. It's creative. It's family friendly.
Yeah.
You can say, oh my God, it's the most horrible thing I've ever seen, and it's disgusting, and it's bad for kids. And I'm like, are we literally watching the same thing right now?
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Listen, if you had a bunch of people in the Turning Point show with a bunch of white hoodies on and crosses, they probably would say that was better than Bad Bunny. Thank you for the call, my friend. Great phone call, and I'm glad you called in, Rich. Please call back again soon. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Donatella, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Donatella is next up on PTL. Hey, Donatella, what's going on?
Hey, it's been a long time. First of all, I would like to say that I absolutely adored the Super Bowl halftime show. I watched it with my father, who's 80 plus years old.
Oh, that's cool.
And in the Asheville, VA.
Mm-hmm.
So we both were on the phone and we watched the entire thing together. It was the first time we ever watched a football game together. So
that's
super
was really
cool.
That's what it's all about. I'm glad to hear
his,
that. That's cool.
Yeah, that was great. But what I want to lead you into this conversation, I'm about DeSantis and about Florida and about Alligator Alcatraz that is located in Collier County. And several months ago, we were told that that was all dispatched because that was the Everglades and it was like a protected area.
Yeah.
But, you know, the people that were in there have allegedly all disappeared. Nobody knows where they're at. Their family members can't find them. And there were people of various ages that were being detained in there. So they've either killed them and thrown them into a mass grave. They deported them and put them into another prison somewhere far away, or they've sold and tortured the children. And I have called there so many times because I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm calling it. I'm identifying myself. I don't care. I call over there, you know, I get the hold of these people, these little rummy downs, and I say, get in your car, get in your county car, go over there to Collier, you know, because you're in Collier County. It's your responsibility. Go and check and see what's going on over there, because we want to know. And I said, and by the way, your governor, you know, is under scrutiny. He and his wife for this $10 million that they stole or misappropriated from Medicaid.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
I said, and we don't hear anything about that.
That's
and I
why.
said, yet
I'm sorry. I was just going to say that's why he has no chance to ever be president. I think this scandal between him and his wife, if we're talking about Ron DeSantis, I don't think he has any chance of ever becoming the president of the United States. I thought at one point maybe he might. Obviously, I would never vote for him because I think Ron DeSantis is despicable. But that's my personal opinion there, my dear. There are a lot of issues out there in Florida. That's certainly one of them. Can you imagine if Byron Donalds becomes the governor of Florida? What an embarrassment he is. And I talked a little bit about this. Well, I talked a lot about it last week, about this video that surfaced that Donald Trump put on his Truth Social, has since been deleted, comparing Michelle and Barack Obama to the liking of monkeys, which is beyond racism. And Byron Donalds was one of the people who defended it. I mean, these people are so despicable. They have sold their soul to the orange turd, and there is no coming back from it. There is none. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you would like to be a part of the conversation. Let's go to Kava. Kava is next up on PTL. Hi, Kava.
Hi, Brian. How are you today?
Hey, good. What's on your mind?
So I wanted to address something that you had just said a few seconds ago when you were talking about the Bad Bunny situation that had occurred.
Yeah.
And I'm from Ecuador, okay? And I loved it. I thought it was absolutely incredible. I believe that, you know, we should celebrate our Latin American countries because Donald Trump doesn't care. So why does MAGA care? If you guys hate it so much, why do you bother? It makes no logical sense.
So there's a lot of what
that's why talk about it.
Kava, there's a lot of what people are saying on the right. I haven't seen one credible person that said anything legitimate about this halftime show. The number one criticism that I see is he didn't speak English. So what? This won't be the first halftime show. It won't be the last halftime show that we're speaking another language. So what? It's music and it's about everybody coming together. Who cares? Like, that's the part that I really don't understand. And then they say, oh, it was inappropriate for kids. What was? Everything was PG-13. The message was great. There were actually kids that were in the performance. And I thought what was a really nice part of the performance, a lot of people thought that it was Liam Ramos, the 5-year-old, that he gave the Grammy to. It wasn't. It was a child actor, but that's certainly what they were referring to. A poor 5-year-old kid that was deported by ICE, and then obviously a judge ordered him back, which was the right thing to do. I just don't understand these people. I don't understand their hatred. If you want to watch Kid Rock, go ahead and watch Kid Rock. But the attacks on Bad Bunny, this is a guy who's never been in trouble with the law. This is a guy who has the album of the year. Clearly, he's doing something right, and he joined with Lady Gaga and again, so many other great performers. Mark Anthony was there as well. So, you know, Ricky Martin. And the message at the end was really about bringing people together with all the flags and, you know, the thing that beats hate is love. And what's wrong with that message? And these people out there, make no mistake about it, that say speak English are the same people that keep their mouth shut when Melania Trump can't put 2 sentences together. But they'll be very quiet. All they care about is that you're white and you're a Republican. That's what they want. And it's make America white again. It's not make America great again. It was never about bringing this country together. We are more divided than we've ever been. And it's because of Donald Trump and the people that enable him. Let's be very clear on that.
Right. And you know what's interesting about that is if I were to speak Spanish right now, MAGA would lose their mind. So I'm just going to do it anyways because I think it's hilarious that I can make them mad. So, Latino America hablo.
I hope next year they get every Spanish-speaking musician out there to sing like for 20 seconds. Get every single musician out there at the halftime show that does not speak English. I just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep getting these people angry. Keep doing it. They're white anger. I'm sick of it. They're an embarrassment to white people. They're an embarrassment to the country. And I am sick of you. If you are one of those people that is bashing anything about that halftime performance, if you want to bash anything, why don't you bash Kid Rock for lip syncing? The talentless fool, Kid Rock. Why don't you bash him for lip syncing and his lyrics about prostitution and cocaine? Why don't you bash Kid Rock for once writing lyrics about being with underage girls? By the way, that's who Erica Kirk chose as their number one. A guy who in lyrics talked about being with underage girls. Bad Bunny doesn't have, to my knowledge, he's never bragged about anything like that before, but they want to attack that show for having women, PG-13 dressing, what I would consider to be just fine. Wasn't extremely provocative to me. And they want to attack Bad Bunny for that. And for showing all different flags, not just the United States of America flag. I mean, it's so par for the course. Kava, I appreciate your phone call. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. For those of you that disagree with me, and there's plenty of you on social media that are keyboard warriors, but for those of you that disagree with me, now's your chance to call into the show. 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you'd like to join into the program, 702-221-SAVE. 702-221-7283. You're listening to KSHP 107.1 FM, 1400 AM, and I'm opening up the phone lines to you now. I appreciate the fact that we have people that enjoyed the Bad Bunny performance, as did I. I want to know why you enjoyed the Turning Point performance. I want to know what was it about Kid Rock's performance that was so incredible to you that these idiots on the right, like Benny Johnson and Jack Posobiec and all these people from Turning Point. What an incredible performance. What, when you get up there and you jump up and down with your ponytail and you lip sync ball with the ball and you're wearing jorts, somehow that's some sort of incredible performance? I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I just really don't get it. I'm at a loss for words. I don't understand it, but anybody's welcome to call in to do so. All right, number to call. Let's get back to the calls. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Again, that number 702-221-7283. Let's go to Chad. Chad is next up on PTL. Hello, Chad. Chad, we got a 7-second delay on the radio, so you got to lower your radio for me, okay? Chad? Yes, you got to lower your radio for me, Chad, because we hear it in the background. We have a 7-second delay, so please do that for me, okay?
Yeah. Hey,
thank
you.
you.
Hear me now?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead, Chad.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, this may be a little off subject here, but I don't understand how that man got back in office. But
yeah, well, it's definitely a part of it. It's definitely a part of the conversation. So go right ahead. It's definitely a part of it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why doesn't these blue states, our great blue states, why don't they call the National Guard in to protect us from ICE and things like that? Why can't they do that?
Well, we're definitely seeing a little bit more pushback. I certainly understand where you're coming from there. You asked me, how could this man get back into the office? The same people that are attacking Bad Bunny for not speaking English, it's called racism. And I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying everybody who voted for Trump is a racist. But as I've said before, every racist voted for Donald Trump. There's a difference. And the people that are saying Bad Bunny doesn't, let's just call this for what it is. The overwhelming majority of people that are attacking the Bad Bunny performance are racist. That's what it comes down to. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be nice here. This isn't about a musical preference. It's racism. That's what it is.
I understand that. I'm just wondering why they don't call the National Guard in to protect us from these ICE and these Gestapo.
Well, because Donald Trump's in charge of the National Guard. That's why in these specific situations. And if that happened, you could have a civil war. It's a very tricky situation. I understand what you're saying, but Donald Trump is in charge of, calling in the National Guard. I hope we don't get to that point. I like the fact that at least people have been protesting peacefully in Minneapolis for the most part. And that's part of the reason why, but we certainly didn't have to have these two innocent U.S. citizens lose their lives in a horrific way. No. It's a terrible, I agree with you. It's a terrible tragedy. It's horrible. And there's no accountability. Like these, you think,
I thought the governors were in charge of,
Well,
of calling the National
the
Guard.
governor needs to call the president of the United States and to do that. And we know that that's not. If you remember, during the George Floyd protest, when there was some violence in Minneapolis, it was Tim Walz who had to pick up the phone and call Donald Trump to bring in the National Guard. So you have to have the go ahead from the president of the United States. And we know that the president will not be working with Democrats on anything. So unfortunately, my friend, it's a tough spot to be in. I appreciate your call. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Nick. Nick is next up on PTL. Hello, Nick. What's going on?
Yeah, I wanted to chime in about the halftime.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brian. Sorry, I had to come. I'm in my car.
You're good.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't understand a word that was being spoke, but if you didn't find that show entertaining and a positive message, you are a MAGA racist hypocrite.
I agree.
That's what it is.
Nick, guess what?
You know?
I didn't understand a word either, but I thought it was,
Right.
number one, it was entertaining. I agree with you.
Absolutely.
Number two,
Absolutely.
what was the message? Was the message was Puerto Rico, we're better than you? You know, of course not. The message was hate. We won't tolerate hate. Love defeats hate. Why? Boy, what a terrible message to give to your kids. Like, I don't understand. Like, what is the problem with this performance other than, oh, he didn't speak English, which is racist in itself. Like, who cares, right? But it's like, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's blatant. It's the fact that it's a brown immigrant. Now, if there was a Russian rapper who was speaking Russian at the halftime show,
there you go.
You think they would be complaining?
There you go. You made a very valid point there. If this was somebody white from South Africa, if this was somebody from Switzerland, do you think the MAGA Republicans would have a problem with that? Of course not.
No.
And, you know, let's just call this for what it is. This is the seething contempt for Republicans and that what they have for Latino American culture. Boy, what a great way to get the Latino vote. Can you imagine if you're a Latino right now, and there are some of you out there that voted for Donald Trump? What are you thinking today? What are you thinking? How could you still support this guy? I don't understand.
I agree. To chime in on that comment, Brian, I feel like that about everything. How could women support him? How can military? How can police support him? I mean, you could go down the list.
You could. I talk about our brave men and women in uniform, the people who he called suckers and losers. We talk about women and how he's bragged about grabbing women by the genitals and the 25 women that have come forward that have accused him of abuse. If you're a woman, how could you vote for this man? If you're a brave man or woman in uniform, how could you vote for this man? If you're an immigrant, if you're brown, how could you vote for this man? I give a lot of credit to people, African Americans, particularly black women. 93% of black women did not vote for Donald Trump. 80% of black men did not vote for Donald Trump. Now, listen, it should be 100% as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
But boy, what a wonderful way in the midterms to get the Latino vote, huh? You basically have everybody on the right, almost everybody attacking the Latino American culture. What a great way to get the vote. It's so ridiculous.
They're running scared, Brian. They know they're in trouble, man. When the Democrats are winning elections that they shouldn't be winning in these special elections, they're running scared. They know it.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you, my friend, and I appreciate your phone call. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Eric. Eric is next up on PTL. What's up, Eric?
Hey, Brian. Hey, I just stumbled on your show on my phone by accident and been listening. I think your comments are just awesome, and the show Bad Bunny did was just awesome. And he speaks the truth for all of us, for the world, and it was great.
Eric, thank you. Eric, if I ask you, why do you think there are so many people on the right that are attacking Bad Bunny today?
Because they're naive, and just they don't see that we in this country are all are immigrants. We're all immigrants. They just don't see it, that we're all immigrants into this country.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't see it.
I tend to agree with you. I would probably use harsher language, and I would probably say a lot of it is racism. A lot of it is bigotry. A lot of it is, if you don't look like me and sound like me, then I'm going to attack you type of stuff. That's what I think it is. And I think this is Donald Trump's base. Make no mistake about it. Donald Trump's base of supporters are the ones that say, speak English, speak English. This is Donald Trump's base.
I would have used harsher language, but that
No,
would
I
have
know. I
gotten,
appreciate.
bleeped out.
I
would have
appreciate
gotten
that.
bleeped out.
Yeah, no, I totally understand, and I appreciate that, my friend, and I appreciate you calling in and stumbling upon my show. I hope you continue to be a listener. Who are we going to next here? 702-221-7283. I believe Debbie is next. Hey, what's up, Debbie?
Hi, Brian. I'm third generation Mexican American, and the Puerto Ricans. First of all, I love Bad Bunny's halftime show. It was awesome. I think it was very informative of what's going on in Puerto Rico. The thing is that I didn't even understand him only because Puerto Ricans have a different accent than us Mexicans do. But I still enjoyed the show.
Sure. And I think from a music standpoint, I thought it was great. Not my favorite, but I thought it was fine. But I like the message. I thought from a creativity part of it, because that's really what this is all about, right? It's not just about musical talent. It's about entertaining people. I thought it was very entertainment. Great entertainment. I thought it was great.
And I think he pointed out things that were, and I don't know if the audience grabbed at it, but that he pointed out things that was going on in Puerto Rico, like the sugar cane,
right,
and where he was climbing on the poles of the electricity poles,
right,
because apparently they have issues with that in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And then plus his love that, the love that he has for this country,
sure.
as, and I just thought it was amazing, that, and more, I'm so happy that it didn't turn out negative politically.
No, it was positive. Yeah, it was all.
The megas were already saying that on the internet.
Yeah, the only pole climbing in the Trump administration would be Melania Trump, but that would be another story for another show, my dear. Hey, I appreciate your call, and I love that you enjoyed it. I think that's great, and I appreciate you. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Jeff. Jeff is next. Hello, Jeff. Jeff, you got to lower your radio. Jeff, you got to lower your radio because we're live, and there's a 6-second delay. Jeff, are you there? Jeff, you have to lower your radio unless you're trying to prank us and you think you're trying to be funny, which you're not funny, Jeff. Do you have anything intelligent that you'd like to say, Jeff, or you just want to play a Spanish radio station because you think it's funny, Jeff? I'll give you one more opportunity, Jeff, to make the case. One more opportunity. There you go. Have a nice day, Jeff. You're very, very funny. 702-221-7283. MAGA people don't have much of a sense of humor. I will tell you that. All right, let's take another phone call. Let's see who we going to do next here. Let's go to Chris. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Chris is next up on PTL. Hey, Chris, what's going on? Chris?
Hey, am I up?
Yes, go right ahead.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Good.
Great to meet you. Yeah, my name's Christopher. I'm here in Las Vegas. And, da, привет. Добрый вечер. Все хорошо. Quiero mis hermanos y hermanas de todo el mundo.
No comprende.
I love everybody from every side of the globe, and I'm fascinated with language, and I love that the performance yesterday at the Super Bowl included that.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, Chris.
And I just really want to say that there are more than one Americas. There is North America, South America, Central America.
Sure.
There's also other countries. I just spoke Russian to you a moment ago. There are so many people with so many similar problems that we need to focus on together.
Right.
Especially when it comes to these oligarchies in every facet of every corner of our globe.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to come together as a people in unison to address this.
Well, I think this was a nice start, at least at the halftime show. I think people are finally starting to, and listen, people on the right will say, "Oh, look at the millions of people that watch the Turning Point show." Listen, it's a fraction of how many people watch Bad Bunny. So let's just start there. And it was a very positive That's what I really appreciated about the Bad Bunny thing, besides its creativity, and it was great. But it was the message. I thought the message was strong. It was great. It wasn't too political. It was about love. And, you know, listen, some people would rather see a washed up, trashy Kid Rock lip sync to Ball with the Ball. I mean, there are people out there that think that's more entertaining. I think it's a joke. I mean, I think he looked like the Crypt Keeper out there. And I thought he's not even a good lip syncer. Like, at least I can, if I watched like back in the day, Britney Spears, not a great singer, but a pretty good lip syncer. Like she's pretty good lip syncer. Like Kid Rock can't even do that right. And by the way, it's to one of his own songs too. It's so pathetic.
Like, you know, Britney Spears, good performer, whatever, but
she's an entertainer. Yeah. She's not a musician. She's an entertainer, you know?
Yeah. All that aside, I think one of my favorite points that I would like to address is when he was holding up the Puerto Rican flag. It was the original Puerto Rican flag.
Yeah.
With the baby blue triangle.
Right.
And I have seen other videos of like Puerto Ricans that are saying that like, no, this is a stance that this is our original flag. We are still here in our original form. We are not condoning the dark blue flag that resembles more of the red, white, and blue, navy blue version.
Yep.
They had like their baby blue version, and he even said, "We are still here."
But here's what's even more deeper than that, and I agree with you. There are MAGA supporters out there that do not understand that Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. They don't understand. They think he's been born in another country. There are people out there like Megyn Kelly, who did Pierce Morgan today and thought that English was the language, the official language of the United States. She's so stupid. She doesn't even know that. And by the way, you can watch the clip, and then when she realizes she goofed up, then she tries to dig her own hole and tries to get out of her hole by doing that. But these people are very ignorant. And what is racism? Let's break this down for a moment. What is actual racism? It's ignorance, right? Because it's taking an entire group of people, bringing them in and saying they're all this or they're all that. It's pure ignorance. Every human being is different. And from what I've heard about Bad Bunny, and as I've said, I don't know him personally at all. I've never met the man, but I do know people who have met him, and they've all told me the same thing. He's a really genuinely a good person, a decent man. And you can see that with his messaging. Obviously, that's him. This is his messaging. Ice out. Totally understand why he would say that. The message of let's not spread hate, let's spread love. That's a really nice message. He didn't make it about him. He included some other great performers, like for example, Ricky Martin or Lady Gaga. He didn't make it about him. He made it about everybody else, his people, and bringing everybody together. And I think that's something that we should commend Bad Bunny for. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you would like to be a part of the conversation. Again, that number, 702-221-SAVE. Let's go to Ethan. Ethan is next up on PTL. Hello, Ethan.
Hey, Brian. How are you doing?
Good. What's on your mind?
First of all, there's like a few things that I think one could break down here on this fine Monday afternoon. But before I give you my thoughts on it, I just want to ask you, what did you think of the halftime spectacle yesterday?
With respect, have you been listening to the show? Have you been listening?
No, I have been. I have. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I just like, yeah, but well.
Well, I'll give it to you briefly. I'll give it to you briefly. I thought Kid Rock. I'll start with Kid Rock. He was absolutely embarrassing. He lip synced his own song. It was a joke. You couldn't pay me enough to see that garbage. I thought Bad Bunny's performance, while it's not my own genre of music that I listen to, I still can appreciate it. I thought I've seen Lady Gaga in concert. It was fun to see her there. I thought she was great. I thought Ricky Martin's got obviously a great performer. He's got a great voice. Seeing Mark Anthony out there was really damn cool. And I thought it was really creative. It was entertaining. And I thought they did a really good job. It was creative. The messaging was positive. I literally have nothing to say negative about the Bad Bunny performance. And I think Kid Rock is absolute trash. He's a washed up hack, and he couldn't even sing his own song, arguably his biggest hit, Ball with the Ball. He couldn't even sing it. He lip synced it, and he's not even a good lip syncer. So to me, it's night and day. It's night and day between the two performances.
Yeah, I agree with you. And to be honest, I saw your video earlier today with you dissecting Benny Johnson's video. That was probably the funniest thing I saw all day.
Thank you.
But I do want to, of course, but I do want to say a little bit about the Bad Bunny spectacle, and then I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Sure.
Usually when I hear this anti-American slur be thrown around, first of all, that's usually something you throw around in like an authoritarian society to shut down dissent. If you look at everything that he did, from holding up the Puerto Rican flag to the message on the football of "Together we are America," and then also at the same time including other great performers such as Ricky Martin, such as Lady Gaga, and the other people that you had mentioned, it was more so of a spectacle about community, about family, about hard work, and that despite all the nonsense that the Trump administration spills on a daily basis, you could still make it within this country despite all the obstacles that may come your way. And then also, another thing I was going to say was that often this thing of like, I hear some right wingers say like, he hates America. Okay, first of all, what is America?
Yeah.
You have to define America before you tell someone like Bad Bunny hates it. Then when you think about it deeper, understand that the country is the people are the country.
He's a born American citizen. Like, I don't even understand that argument, right? He's a born American. He's from Puerto Rico. It's part of the United States of America. These people are so dumb. No, English is not the official language of the United States. If racist lawmakers want to make it that, then go ahead. It's not. It's not. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for the call. 702-221-SAVE. Let's go to Eddie. Eddie is next up on PTL. Hello, Eddie.
Orale, vato.
What's on your mind, Eddie?
Lion Brian. Gotta call and correct you.
No, what did I lie about? What did I lie about, Eddie?
English is the official language
No,
of
it's
the
not.
United States.
No, it's not. You have no idea what you're talking about, and I'm not going to correct.
Again,
okay.
you
According to
have no idea
who?
what you're
According to who? According to who is English the official language of the United States? According to who?
March 1st, 2025, it was signed an executive order.
No,
There you
it is.
go,
It
sir.
is. No, it wasn't. By who? When? Executive order through who?
President Trump. Who else is the
Oh,
president?
well, you're wrong,
The guy
because
you
that didn't
talk about
happen.
every day.
You're wrong. English is not the official language of the United States. It hasn't been implemented that way, and you're 100% wrong.
First, 2000.
Lion Eddie. Lion Eddie. Lion Eddie. Eddie is, by the way, Eddie, I don't think you've, by the way, Eddie, not only are you wrong factually, and you're the liar, but I don't think you're very, I don't think you speak English very well, Eddie. Eddie, what did you think about, Eddie, what did you think about Kid Rock's performance? Why don't we, let's get your thoughts.
Set you straight again.
Eddie, I'm asking you a question.
Set you straight again.
Eddie, I need you to practice English but learn to listen as well, English. Eddie, I'm asking you a question. It'd be nice if you could answer it, okay? We're talking about the halftime.
Okay.
Eddie, what did you think about Kid Rock lip syncing? Was that a great performance?
I find it hilarious that you talk about Kid Rock.
Eddie, I need you to answer the
his
question.
lyrics.
Eddie, I need you to answer the question. Eddie, I need you to answer the question. Eddie, Eddie, you're not allowed to swear on the air, okay? You're not allowed to swear on the air. If you're going to continue to do that, I'm going to hang up on you, Eddie. That's not part of the English. Eddie, you're the one who's struggling. Yeah. Keep potting him down, please, and I'll let you know. So, Eddie, here's what we're going to do, okay? I didn't ask you about Bad Bunny. I'm happy to talk to you about Bad Bunny if you're capable of speaking English. I'm now asking you about Kid Rock. Now, I asked you what you thought of his lip-syncing performance. You didn't give me an answer. So I'm going to try one more time, but I'm going to do a caveat in this. I'll give you some options. What did you think about Kid Rock, who lip-synced? What do you think about Kid Rock's lyrics about being with underage girls and running a prostitution ring on the top of a hotel? But let's start with the lip syncing. Eddie, would you call it a good performance, him lip syncing? Was that good, Eddie? Please answer.
Did you get Did you just ask me if I can speak English?
Eddie, I'm going to give you one more opportunity to answer a question because I've now asked it. Eddie, pot him down again. Pot him down again. Eddie, you're not a very intelligent person, and clearly you haven't mastered the English language very well. In fact, I doubt you have a GED. So let's try this again, Eddie. Not that I really value your opinion, because your opinion means about as much to me as my last bathroom visit. But we're going to try this one more time. And Eddie, my question has nothing to do with the English language. It has nothing to do with Bad Bunny or your personal feelings about me. This is about the Kid Rock performance. So, Eddie, I'll make it very simple for you. Let's see if you're capable of answering one direct question, which now I'm asking for the 6th time. Speaking of English, Eddie, what did you think about the Kid Rock performance, and tell me why you liked or disliked it? Go ahead, Eddie.
Did you just ask me if I speak?
Have a nice day, Eddie. You're a waste of my time, and you're not capable of answering a direct question. By the way, English is not the official language of the United States of America, and you are a liar. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. But even if it was, I would tell you to go back to 3rd grade. What's long and hard for Eddie? Are you ready for this? This is not a sexual joke. What is long and hard for Eddie? I would say probably 3rd grade. Eddie, have a nice day, mushroom gobbler. Have a nice day. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Alex. Alex is next up on PTL. What's up, Alex?
Hey, Brian. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I just wanted to share my thoughts with you, or just share my common sentiment that I completely agree with what you're saying about how it's refreshing to hear that the country's not divided, that we should function based off of love instead of hate, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just your words are refreshing to hear this morning or this afternoon. And yeah, just I wanted to say to anybody listening that whenever Trump went to Puerto Rico after Hurricane, I think it was Maria, I just hope people don't forget how he was, you know, shooting paper towels like basketballs.
Yeah, I do remember that. People. I do remember that. That was embarrassing.
Yeah. I just, I hope that sort of brought that memory back, because that people died. 3,000 people died in Puerto Rico. Just for a point of reference, during Katrina, 1.8 people passed away.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to compare tragedies, but I'm just trying to put things in perspective.
It was a horrible tragedy. It was terrible. And Donald Trump went over there and threw out a bunch of paper towels thinking he was Tom Brady. And, you know, it's kind of like, remember the railroad, when the railroad, I'm trying to remember what city it happened when Biden was president, and the railroad situation where you had the train derailment, and Donald Trump goes over there and he buys some people McDonald's and he thinks he's the hero and he's saving the day. It's just absolutely embarrassing the way this guy acts. Oh yeah, one other thing. I played the video going back to the halftime show at Mar-a-Lago. Donald Trump and Lindsey Graham were watching Bad Bunny. They didn't even watch the Turning Point halftime show. So I do find that interesting as well. You want to talk about
I did see that. You posted that this morning, actually.
Yeah, hypocrisy at its finest. Somebody in Mar-a-Lago took some cell phone video of Lindsey Graham and Donald Trump at the table there, and they played Bad Bunny at halftime at Mar-a-Lago. What does that tell you? Bunch of freaking hypocrites is what they are.
He's a fan, and he just doesn't know it yet.
I think he is. I think he is a Bad Bunny fan. I tend to agree with you. He should have Bad Bunny. I got a feeling Bad Bunny won't go to Mar-a-Lago though. The people that go to Mar-a-Lago are people like Vanilla Ice and Kid Rock. I'm surprised Vanilla Ice didn't perform at that halftime show because he's got so much talent. Vanilla Ice and Kid Rock and Ted Nugent and all these absolute imbeciles, these embarrassing excuses for human beings. And just, I'm surprised, you know, Ted Nugent would have been perfect.
Right. No, for MAGA to idolize people like Kid Rock and Vanilla Ice, they're going crazy with his references. But the people they idolize, you know, people like Trump, people in his administration, it's they set the example. For example, when Trump said piggy to that reporter, I haven't seen the word piggy used as much during that ever, you know, as much as it was used during that week. And even to this day, I still see people say piggy all the time.
I for the record, I think the only time I've used that term recently is for Laura Loomer. the Mickey Rourke impersonator. Thank you for the call, my friend. 702-221-7283. Who we going to next here? Let's go to Jerry. Jerry is next up on PTL. Hello, Jerry.
Oh my gosh! Hey, bro, what's up? I had you on speakerphone. I know when you was gonna put me on.
What's up? You're on, Jerry. What's going on?
Hey, nothing. Hey, you know the Michigan guy? He gets to keep his job for calling Trump a pedophile, right? You heard about that?
I did not.
Okay, well, breaking news. He's going to keep his job. I just saw it on TMZ. But besides that, so I watched both of the halftime shows. I was trying to be objective. And let me just say, I enjoyed the Bad Bunny presentation. But like you were saying, a lot of people were saying, if he would have spoke English, I probably would have understood it. But that's my fault because I need to get on my Spanish. I'm going to actually watch it again later on today and get a full review. But from what I'm hearing from you guys, just from looking at it.
Well, to be fair, here's what I will say. I have no problem with Bad Bunny speaking Spanish. I think it maybe would have been even better if maybe you throw in a little bit more English. Maybe it would have been a little better, but I'm not going to criticize him for that. I thought the performance was great. I thought it was very creative, and the message was great. Yeah, maybe give me another 2 or 3 minutes of maybe some English songs, maybe so I can understand the lyrics. But that's not like my biggest concern, right? I'd rather have. Let me be very clear. I'd rather have any musician singing in another language than have somebody like Kid Rock lip syncing one of his atrocious songs.
True, absolutely. And I'll just say this about the NFL. I think the NFL is doing a good job.
Yes,
I agree. At the end of the day, it's about capitalism. And Bad Bunny is the hottest thing. He was the hottest thing this year. Kendrick was the hottest thing last year. So that's all they're trying to do is make it a global thing.
I agree with you. And I think the NFL, it will pay dividends for them with what Roger Goodell is doing. I don't always agree with Roger Goodell. I absolutely agree with him here. I think it was a very wise move for the NFL as well. You're getting more people involved, and I think it was very, very smart of him to do what he did. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Brett. I believe Brett has been waiting very patiently on hold, so let's go to Brett on line 6. Hey, Brett, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Brian?
Hey.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about Bad Bunny and the English. My mother-in-law is 90 years old, and she's born and raised in Puerto Rico, and she barely understood a word of it. So don't feel bad if you guys didn't understand what he was talking about. But the message was clear, and the show was actually really entertaining. And it's not my thing, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
As far as Trump, he lives in West Palm Beach, and I live in West Palm Beach, and I'm a short walk, and he couldn't be further from this community of these people because I would say English is definitely the second language here. This is a Spanish community. They all work really hard. They're very prideful. They're very family oriented.
So hold on, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm sorry to interrupt, but is English is English the official language of the United States? Because this is new news to me. Is it? I don't know.
Not that I've ever heard.
Not that I recall. He's this clown calls in and says Trump signed an executive order to make English the official language of the United States. It's not true. People call in and they just lie. Like it's insane.
Well, maybe that fool signed the executive order. Who knows? Who cares?
I'm going to sign an executive order to no longer allow Trump mushroom gobblers to call into the show. That's my executive order in 2025.
He sounded really intelligent, and the other clown that put the Spanish music on. They're really stating their case for the MAGA cult to be looking good.
They are. You're right. They are.
Yeah, the show was great, and he threw some references to Anita, the Williamsburg.
I think
it was really special for those people, and they're very prideful people, and it was great for all Hispanics, and they had their moment last night, and there's nothing wrong with it. It was great. Like I said, it's not my thing. I'd prefer to see like Prince or The Who or something like that, but I'm old, and I could speak a little Spanish, but I didn't understand a word he said, but I got the whole message, and it was beautiful.
I'm with you, man.
I'm with you. A lot of fun.
I'm with you, man. I
thought the women were beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Everybody was great. I completely agree with you. Yeah, the women were beautiful. It was an awesome show. I thought it was great, and I agree with you. Let's go to Brian. Brian is next on PTL. What's up, Brian?
Hey, Brian, man, how you doing?
Good.
I'm in agreement with you as always. It's your buddy from Texas. I'd like to give you the updates from our great state down here.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy that won the special election seat for the Texas House, the Taylor Remick guy from Fort Worth, he put a video. It was a Republican seat that Donald Trump won by 30 points, and he in turn won it by 16 points. He put a video last night, him around all of his Hispanic supporters, and they were watching the Bad Bunny halftime show. And I was like, this is just so great. I know the bigot tears just taste so good this morning. You know what I'm saying? It just, I love seeing these bigots squirm, and I don't really care if they like it or not. You know, it's just whether it be from them or this clown, the lady that burns Qurans that can't even vote in her own election. You know who I'm talking about. What's her name? Valentina Gomez or something like that.
Yeah, Valentina Gomez probably. By the way, she stormed into a church last month. There's video of it.
Where's the outrage?
Yeah, no outrage there. I said that on Piers Morgan, and of course Benny had no idea what I was talking about. But yeah, I mean it's pretty outrageous, Brian, where we're at now as a country. There's no question. It's pretty outrageous. And by the way, what you just mentioned to me, you're right. I love to watch the bigots squirm. I absolutely do, and I appreciate your call. And I'm obviously with you on that. Let's go to Jeremy. Jeremy is next up on PTL. Hey, Jeremy, what's up? Hi, Jeremy. Go right ahead.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Good. Go right ahead.
So, first off, I loved your takedown of Benny's video yesterday, but it also got me thinking. So, I was also reading this today when they were talking about Kid Rock's song that he pretended to sing, where he added in that bit about like Jesus and your Bible. I watched both shows. Bad Bunny show was more aligned with Christian values. I think loving your neighbor and not hating people stands better than Kid Rock, who has openly used the R word to describe
That
people.
is such a great point that you just brought up, and I didn't even really think of that. If you really want to talk to the evangelical right about true Christian values, everything that Bad Bunny, for the most part, everything that Bad Bunny did was Christian values. Marriage, you had an actual proposal in the middle of the performance. That was a real proposal, by the way. You also
it wasn't a proposal. It was a wedding. They got
wedding
married.
/ proposal. Right. Correct. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right about that. And then you talk about love over hate. Now, I know that there are Christians out there, some that they like to hate on homosexuality. I call those people bigots, by the way. But for the most part, this was about love and bringing people together, regardless of what the color of their skin is, regardless of sexuality. That's what Jesus would want. I'm not a very religious person. And then you look at Kid Rock, a guy that's wrote lyrics about being with underage girls, the guy that talks about cocaine and he talks about prostitution. And by the way, arguably his biggest hit, I don't care for any of his music, he lip synced it. So it's like, I don't know. To me, it's so insane. These Christians out there.
The way I look at it is, it's what I've always said is you can wrap yourself in the flag and you could wrap yourself in the Bible. But if you're not like walking the walk, it's pandering. That's what you're doing is you're pandering.
Yeah. What a great job, by the way, huh? What a great job by the MAGA Republicans trying to get the vote from the Latino American culture. Yeah, they're really doing a great job of that. And then they'll wonder why they don't get the minority vote. They wonder why, in general terms, there's so few people, so few minorities within the Republican Party. They wonder why this country, 13% African Americans and only 1% represent the Republicans. It's because of what we've seen the last 24 hours and their bigotry and their hatred for people that are not white, that are not Christian white. This is not a Christian country. Okay. I'm sick of people saying that. There are people, all sorts of colors in the crayon box, all sorts of different religions. Just because you're Christian doesn't mean that everybody else should believe in what you believe in. Okay. That's called bigotry. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Dave. Dave is next up on PTL. Hey, Dave, what's up? What's up? Yeah.
Brian, thank you.
Yep.
I'm taking my call.
Sure.
So, let's just face it, Brian. The reason why they're so jealous of Trump and Kid Rock is because they're a bunch of ugly mugs. They have a good-looking guy here with a bunch of women there, and they know they're ugly. They're a bunch of ugly people, and they're jealous. That's one. And the second thing on top of that, I'm going to tell you right now, what this whole thing, I'm Mexican and I speak Spanish, I have good English, but I'll tell you one thing. You know what he basically was trying to portray on the halftime? He's basically saying to a lot of people, come with us. We know how to party. Party with us because we know how to party.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you right now, you've been to a lot of Mexican, a lot of Mexican weddings and, quesadillas and all that kind of stuff. I'll tell you one thing, man, they know how to party. And a lot of people love their food. You guys like our Mexican food. You like our enchiladas. You like our everything. If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be having good Mexican food. So you should be happy that we're here. And
That's very true.
I'm an American. I was born in California.
Can we remember what Donald Trump said about Mexicans years back? He said, these Mexicans, they're bad people. They're grapists. And I suppose some of them are good people. I am not taking that quote out of context. That is exactly what he said. He also told women of color who were born in the United States of America to go back to their S-hole countries. These are just a few of the statements that he has made. So then they wonder why so many minorities are represented in the Republican Party. This type of behavior is why. Listen, if you don't like Bad Bunny or you don't care for his music and you'd rather see a 60-year-old man lip sync to one of his crappy songs 40 years ago, you have the right to do that. You have the freedom to do that. I wouldn't be criticizing you if that's all you did, but these people that are bashing Bad Bunny and lying about this halftime show, that's where I have a problem with you. That's where I take issue to.
I heard last night it was about 155 million people that watched.
So here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. They're going to say, and they're going to inflate the numbers for Kid Rock, the YouTube numbers. Let's just give them 20 million. Let's just assume for a moment that about 20 million, which I don't believe, but let's just give them that for argument's sake. Let's just say 20 million people watched. You're right. Around 150 million when it's all said and done, were watching the Bad Bunny performance. So at a maximum, they had maybe 10% of the listenership, viewership, I should say, that Bad Bunny had. Is that something to brag about? Really? So, okay, what does that mean? 10% of America's racist. Okay, that's the way I look at it. Really, that's the way I look at this whole thing.
There's, Brian, they're pretty sad, dude. They just put it this way. The fact that, I agree. And they're just inflating this thing. And they just their problem with them is that they like to see people be miserable, all because they're miserable too. And something, they don't like to be happy. They don't like people to be happy. Like the halftime, people are having a good time. They're just a bunch of miserable, freeloaders, living off the taxpayers' back. That's all they're doing. But anyway, Thanks for taking my call.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the phone call. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Again, that number is 702-221-SAVE. Let's go to Denise. Denise is next up on PTL. Hi, Denise.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Is this Brian?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Oh, I'm here in Long Island, New York, and I have to say I love your show.
Thank you.
And I loved the Bad Bunny show, and I wouldn't even have considered watching Kid Rock because I can't stand him. And I had an argument with somebody. They were like, I was explaining, the words that he used about, sex with underage girls being mandatory, and she was like, oh, that happened in 2001. I said, yeah, so that makes it different. You want your kids, your grandkids to know that you support some guy that said that?
Yeah, that's a great excuse,
she was
isn't it?
arguing, oh, don't you bring my grandkids into that? Well, later on, then she put a big post up that, oh, it was such a great show. God bless America. I was like, oh. But anyway, what moved me most was when he had the little boy on, the little boy with the blue hat that had the blue hat that was taken in by ICE and used to get his father.
Yes. Yes.
He gave him his award, one of his awards.
Yes.
That's really moved me.
That was really cool. That was actually very, very cool. And I was glad to see that. That was really fun to see and fun to watch. I thought the whole performance was great. I thought it was great. To me, there was nothing negative about it. I thought it was great.
Nothing negative.
Yeah. I thought
it was great, and I loved it, and that's all. I can't say anything, anything bad. Anything I have to say about the show was good. So
I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more, my dear, and I appreciate it. And I'm glad you called in. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Number to call, by the way, if you want to be a part of the conversation. And then we have some Epstein news that I have to share with all of you, which is pretty damning. 702-221-7283. And again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's get right to this Epstein news now that I have it right in front of me, because I always seem to forget. So now we are learning that it is pretty evident and most likely evident that Donald Trump met with Jeffrey Epstein days before he was murdered. I believe he was murdered. Now, I could rephrase that and say allegedly. I don't believe he took his own life. There are emails saying, I will not come this week. Too many Trump issues. Kensington 2. Epstein emails saying that he's in Palm Beach. Epstein saying he's in Palm Beach and that all Trump people are here. December 26, 2017, Epstein says that he'll be in Palm Beach with, quote, the Trump boys on January 4th, 16 days before the inauguration, by the way. So now we're learning more and more about this. And you had Jasmine Crockett that spoke in D.C. today about this, and let's just call this for what it is. They are protecting pedophiles. And, we saw an email where somebody was bragging about seeing a video naked of an underage girl, and they redacted the person who sent the email. For all we know, it could have been Donald Trump. We don't know. Why are they protecting pedophiles? Why is the Trump administration doing so? And then you have Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton that have already said that they will be testifying under oath, when we know Bill Clinton's name isn't in the Epstein files anywhere near as much as Donald Trump. Why doesn't Donald Trump testify under oath? Why doesn't Donald Trump testify under oath? I do want to get to the YouTube super chat too, if I may, because I know there's some people out there that want their voices to be heard, and I certainly don't want to forget about them as well. We've been kind of in it today, inundated today on so many different calls and topics, and obviously the halftime show is the big one. But of course, I do want to get to the YouTube super chat where your questions and comments can be heard. By the way, you could also go to my website. My website is pushingthelimits.live. All right, let's go to the chat. Let's start off with the Blue Dub, who says, loved Bad Bunny. Clancello was such a failure. Actually, that's pretty funny. That's a decent name there. RK says, the only reason MAGA didn't watch Bad Bunny is because, I think we lost that one. There it is. It's back. The only reason why MAGA didn't watch Bad Bunny is because all the dancers were adults and not young girls. It's actually a pretty good point. I certainly wouldn't deny that, RK. I appreciate your support. Foxboy says, don't forget Green Day singing American Idiot. I loved it. I love Green Day. And guess what? I'm a bigger fan of Green Day now because of their political stance on so many of these issues. I think they're awesome. Lori, appreciate your support. Lori says, so sad that 8 military bases made it mandatory for all the soldiers and their families. They had to go and see the Melania movie. That's right, Lori. So you're right about that. There's been a lot of pressure put forth on so many of these people to go see the Melania movie, which I've heard might even be a bigger piece of crap than Kid Rock and him. I should just stop the sentence right there. Maybe even be a bigger piece of crap than Kid Rock. But I was going to talk about his performance where he was lip syncing. D something says, I barely know Spanish, but Bad Bunny's show was joyful. I enjoyed the mostly untold stories of our fellow Americans much better than Silly Vanilli. That's funny. Little Milli Vanilli knock on the lip syncing. Yes, that's right. That's exactly what Kid Rock did. He lip synced. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Rhonda. Rhonda's next on PTL. Hey, Rhonda.
Hey, Brian, it's good to see you. You look so good.
Oh,
I
well,
love
thank
the
you.
colors.
I appreciate
that. And
that.
I'm thinking about getting a T-shirt called Mushroom Gobbler.
I might be making a shirt and putting it up on my website sometime soon. Look for
Please.
that. So what do you think?
Please.
I'm thinking of 2 shirts. I'm thinking of don't be a Trump mushroom gobbler, and another one being I'm potting you down, with a picture of me pointing at the board. I'm potting you down. I'm thinking of doing both of those.
Do both of them. Make sure your face be on the shirt.
I will.
Please.
I will.
I'll be buying them like off the shelf. But listen,
yes,
I enjoyed you. I'm so proud of you. You beat this Benny Johnson like an egg. I don't know how you dealt. How did you get through that?
Oh, you're talking about my appearance on Piers Morgan?
No, last night.
Oh,
you was giving
you're talking,
yeah,
the video I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know what Rhonda's talking about, on YouTube, I do some videos from home, and I dissected a 9-minute video that Benny Johnson did, basically attacking Bad Bunny with all the dog whistles and the racist stuff. And, and it's such a joke because almost every word out of his mouth was laughable, like was embarrassing. So I kind of did a video. It's on my YouTube page at PTL Radio Show. I did a video and I kind of dissected his video, which I thought was an absolute embarrassment. It's just, these people are all the same. The Benny Johnsons, the Jack Posobics, the Nick Sorters, the Cam. I mean, they're all the same. The Jesse Waters of the world, the Laura Ingrams, the Megyn Kellys, they're all the same. And they have one thing in common. They're all bigots. They're all racist pieces of human scum. They're all bad people. This isn't just about having a difference of opinion. These are all genuinely horrible human beings. They're bad people. Benny Johnson, with the money he took from Russia, listen, they're disingenuous. They're liars. They're probably, at least they probably speak a different tune when they're off camera, but they're completely, they're just completely bad people. They're bad people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they're racist.
Absolutely.
They're bigots. They're bigots. They want everyone to be white, Christian, wholesome people, yet they support Donald Trump. I mean, you couldn't find bigger hypocrites than Benny Johnson. I've got nothing nice to say about him.
I know, Brian, and I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think if we didn't have different culture, this country would be flat if we just had all white? I mean, I'm not saying, hopefully I'm not being racist. With the different multicultural here, it makes us
in my personal opinion, that's what makes America great. Our diversity,
that's it.
The American dream, that it shouldn't matter where you're from or what you look like or what your sexuality is or what your gender is or what the color of your skin is, that in America, everyone should be allowed the same and equal rights and the opportunity to make it in this country. To me, that's what makes America great. But if you talk to a lot of these MAGA scum, and that's what they are, if you talk to a lot of these MAGA scum, they think America was great back before the civil rights movement. I mean, the late Charlie Kirk, he thought the civil rights movement was terrible. All they do is badmouth Martin Luther King Jr. They don't even want a Black History Month, right? They don't see anything wrong with Donald Trump, besides a few people, Tim Scott being one of them. They don't even think there's anything wrong with comparing Michelle Obama and Barack Obama to monkeys. These are the same people that are attacking Bad Bunny. The same people that were defending this video depicting them as monkeys are the same people that are attacking Bad Bunny and saying, speak English. They're called bigots. They're racist. That's who these people are. Let's not get into the weeds on this. These are very bad people that have hatred in their heart, and they're bigots and they're fake Christians and they're just really awful people. That's who these people are.
But I'm going to let you go. But last night was such a relief with so much we was going on in the country at Minnesota. I just felt so calm last night watching the Bad Bunny and getting with my family and friends and laughing and having a good time. It just took the stress off of what we was going through.
Yeah, it was nice, right? And I knew this was going to happen today, by the way. I said,
I love you.
Thank you,
Brian.
Thank you. I love you as well, my dear. You take care. I love you as well. I knew this was going to happen, and I knew this show would be about this topic, and that's why I had my friend Mike. I almost said Mike Babcock. He's a former hockey coach. Michael Babcock from TMZ Sports. I guess we could call him Mike. I think hockey when I think Babcock, but Mike from TMZ Sports. That's why I had him on the show, because I knew that this was going to be the topic today, and I knew there'd be a lot of MAGA bigots out there that would say, "Speak English, speak English." They never say that when it comes to Melania Trump, though, do they? They never did. So it's insane. SY9 on the YouTube super chat says the American Idiot halftime rendition was for Trump. I agree. I love Green Day even more. Isn't it nice, like, when you're a fan of like a musician and you know that they're on the right side of history? Like, for example, some of you might not have heard of this group. They're my favorite band since I was 12. They're a band called Live. You can look them up. They were actually known as like a Christian rock band back in the day, although I didn't really see them as that. But anyway, the lead singer of the band, his name is Ed Kowalczyk, and he posts on his social media page flipping off the Trump Tower here, I guess, from his hotel room. And I thought that was awesome. And then there were people that said, "I'm not going to be a fan of yours anymore. Why would you divide us like this?" And his response was so great. And I'm so proud of him as saying, "I don't give an F. I'm already a millionaire. If you don't want to be my fan, be a fan of my music anymore, go to hell. I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what he said. And I'm like, amen, man. I'm a bigger fan even now. I thought it was awesome what Ed said. It's great. So support the band live. Support Ed Kowalczyk. He's on our side politically, and I thought it was great. And listen, there's a lot of other musicians out there. Most are on our side. Obviously, Kid Rock isn't. But think about who the right has. They have Ted Nugent, right? And they have Kid Rock. We've got Bruce Springsteen. We've got The Boss. We've got will.i.am. We've got pretty much every popular and famous actor on the planet and actress that are on our side as well. You've got Lady Gaga. You've got Bad Bunny, who just had the artist album of the year. When was the last time a huge MAGA supporter won album of the year? I don't know. I'm just kind of going to throw that one out there. All right. So before we go, we have a very special guest coming in studio tomorrow. He's called the soy pill, they call him. He's debated Tim Pool. He's been on Fox News, CNN, and he's going to be joining us in studio and co-hosting with me tomorrow. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Ron Filipowski going to be joining us in the first segment tomorrow too. So certainly looking forward to that from Midas Touch. If you enjoy what we do, if you enjoy what I do, if you enjoy this show, we ask you do us a favor. Go to our website. That website is pushingthelimits.live. Again, that website is pushingthelimits.live. We're going to put it on the bottom of the screen there. Please go to our website. And if you have $5, $10, $20, one-time donation, or maybe once a month you want to make a donation, please do that. Also on our social media platforms, which is at PTL Radio Show. It's on YouTube. I'm the Brian Shapiro on X. I'm also on TikTok at PTL Radio Show. And of course, I'm on Facebook as well. The Pushing the Limits fan page has just surpassed 86,000 subs. So we're very excited about that. Now, even though we just had the Super Bowl, and I hope you guys won some money if you bet on the game, I hope you're doing it on mybookie.ag, because I've teamed up with mybookie.ag. And if you use the promo code LIMITS, this is the best part, you get a bet back bonus welcome offer of up to $500. Now, you use the promo code LIMITS, but if you want more information, we provided a special link for you on my Facebook page. You go into my videos, you click on that link, and you use the promo code LIMITS. You go to mybookie.ag, you sign up for an account. You're going to get that bet back bonus of up to $500 as a one-time offer for being a listener of the PTL Radio Show. So please check them out, and we're so lucky to be teamed up with them. Just because the Super Bowl is over doesn't mean you're not going to be betting on sports, right? So please do that and support our sponsors. And of course, Jackson's Bar and Grill, located at Flamingo and Jones. We love Jackson's. Great food, great atmosphere, great people, and tell them that I sent you. And the website, as I mentioned, pushingthelimits.live. We're starting to put more content up. I'm going to be doing a live stream Wednesday night with a guy by the name of Tom Rentz. I'm going to be doing these debates. Not going to be like a show per se, but I'm setting up these live stream debates. Tom Rentz is a huge Trump supporter. So we've got him 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesday. We're going to do an all-out duke it out debate Wednesday night. So please tune into that. Thank you, Bear, down on the YouTube super chat, who says, I find it hilarious how these MAGA clowns got horrendous viewership for their garbage show, got caught botting views, and the Patriots lost, whose owner is a Trump supporter. Go Seahawks, baby. Yeah, that's right. It was a good day if you're an anti-Trump supporter. Yesterday was a really good day. So I absolutely agree with you on that. And I appreciate your support. All right, everybody, pushingthelimits.live. Check it out. Make a donation, $5, $10, whatever you can afford. We greatly appreciate it. Helps us keep the lights on here, and you're supporting independent media. So please check it out. Make a donation at pushingthelimits.live. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great day, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie?